Well, so I wanted to ask you first, before we talk about the finals, what do you think about the Karl-Anthony Towns hate? Immediately after the game, reports about the Knicks not liking his effort on defense and people saying they need to trade Karl if they want to take the next step next year. And then all there's a Giannis cloud over every team that loses. There's a Giannis buzz going around. I think Karl got a lot of hate. Do you agree with it? Do you think it's fair? And what do you see on defense?
No, it's not fair, and I'm
him?
going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it's not fair. First off, you guys wouldn't even be in the fucking playoffs, let alone the conference finals, if you didn't have Karl. I don't know if you guys actually opened your motherfucking eyes. I'm actually frustrated and angry hearing that because I've seen that on the internet. I saw like the cat memes and jokes and everybody who likes to like point fun at his like, zesty ways and how he talks and moves as if he can control that. It's really weird. It's like funny to laugh at, but then at some point it's like, okay, I get it. After all that, jokes are like old. It's like, bro, I've seen him. I understand he passes and sometimes he puts a little whatever on it. Who cares? This guy's one of the best bigs in the NBA. He had so many games, not one, not two. Karl-Anthony Towns had a plethora of dominant performances this postseason for the New York Knicks. So to go all the way to the conference finals, look how excited that city was. Look at the new fans. Look at the fever that spread not only across New York, but the country due to your team in the biggest city in our country, the Big Apple, having success. And this guy was the main one of them, him and Jalen, reasons that you can attribute this success to. And as soon as you lose, you want to go on the internet, everyone, and start talking bad about one of the best players, not only in the league, but on your team that was actually limping by game 5 or 6, had a dominant performance to even force a game 6. Imagine dominating the way he did in game 6 to even, or game 5 to even force a game 6, and then you lose game 6, people are like, we need to trade Karl. It's the most delusional fucking thought I've ever heard. That's A. B. Knicks fans, come on, man. How long have you been bad for? You finally got a really good team. You made a trade to get Karl. You guys were hype all year because this guy was crushing. He has like a career year for your team. He goes to the playoffs and the worries about Karl in the playoffs. What worries? He was dominant. You guys ran into a team that had more depth and is playing very good basketball right now. Sometimes you just lose. You don't have to break up the band. Good God, you just got good. Knicks, why don't we act like you just got here instead of like, it'd be one thing if the Knicks go to the conference finals like 3 years in a row and lose with Karl, then you could be like, we just can't get over the hump. We got to make changes. And it doesn't have to be Karl, by the way. There's like 4 other guys in that starting lineup that get paid big money too that you can point the finger at and be like, he didn't play as well as he should have. And I'm talking, and I can name names. Karl ain't one of them. Y'all want to point the finger at somebody, Knicks fans? Stop pointing it at the guy that took over a handful of games in the playoffs to win for you. Jalen Brunson and Karl, the last 2 guys you need to be pointing a motherfucking finger at. Okay? Why don't we act like we just got here, like you did just get here? You just made the conference finals for the first time in quite some time. Okay? Relax with the whole, we need to get rid of our second best player, the only reason we got to the conference finals guy. It's delusional and makes no sense. It's disrespectful towards Karl. And I know the real Knicks fans don't feel this way. This is the problem with what we were talking about before we got on this topic. The amount of new fans to the Knicks and the amount of people who don't really know basketball or Knicks culture or the team or follow them along all year before this playoff hype started know how good Karl is, right? Real Knicks fans know and would never be like, let's trade Karl. If you actually know basketball and follow the Knicks and are a real Knicks fan, there's no fucking way that you lose the playoffs versus the Pacers. You're like, we got to get rid of our second best player. It makes zero sense, okay? Do not do that. And it's disheartening to hear because when you see somebody play the way he's played and have the success and the effort and all these different things in the playoffs like he's had, to only lose and then have some people try to regard him as the reason why and that he's the piece that needs to be moved for them to make a step. What? He was the piece that gave y'all the step. That's why
it was his defense. It was his effort on the defensive end that had people wondering, dude, what do you think about it?
And I'm saying like,
and
man,
obviously
listen,
the fouls and
Okay, so then I'm saying the effort with Jalen Brunson on defense, and again, I'm not saying Jalen Brunson's a bad defender, but he's not a great one. There's a lot of teams that have stars that aren't great defenders on the other end. Okay, like cut it out, man. Listen. By the way, that's why your starting lineup's all built around defense. You can't have one guy that's lackluster on defense sometimes. Isn't that why you paid OG $200 million and he's supposed to be like the optimum of a two-way player? Isn't that why Mikal Bridges is like a premium player? Isn't he a two-way guy? Isn't Josh Hart supposed to be like a big hustle two-way guy? Your whole Mitchell Robinson, isn't that his backup? Like who's only good on defense? Do we trade Mitchell Robinson because he's lackluster on offense because he can't make a free throw? Oh no, you want to trade Karl, the guy who gives you like 30 a night? Are you fucking stupid? Just be quiet and say you don't know basketball. All right.
Also, you just beat the Celtics, who everyone had as the favorites to win the championship this year. Like in the beginning of the playoffs, if you would have closed your eyes and said who's the champion, I think most people would have said Celtics over OKC or Cleveland or any other team. So the Knicks beat this team, and they were going to beat them. It looked like before Tatum got hurt, that it was headed that way anyway.
No, they were beating the Celtics.
Yeah.
They were. I know Tatum got hurt, did put the icing and cherry on top. I get all that, but they were on their way to beating them. They beat them when they won 2 in fucking Boston. All right. Cut the shit. This is the toxic side of that big market. You know, we talk about it with the Lakers sometimes. They're true fans, great. There's that side to these big market teams. There's really only two. It's New York and LA. To where their fan bases are so big, and there are going to be sides of like that toxic social media where they pick apart every player. I mean, like bro, they literally like pushed Kuzma out of LA. Like they couldn't stand him. Mind you, this guy won a ring and like was actually a key piece in that team. Pushed him out. We can't stand him. He's inconsistent. As soon as he leaves, as soon as Caruso leaves, as soon as Casey, like the toxic way of how they broke down their team. LeBron needs this. They're going to continue to win. We need to get rid of these guys. Their values are premium right now. Let's get rid of them and do this. And then within 4 or 5 months, like, man, we need them back. You guys don't know sports. You think you do. You don't, first and foremost. Secondly, real fans of your respective team don't think like this and don't think this emotionally, and they definitely aren't talking about their second best player. Karl-Anthony Towns being the reason why they lost or he needs to be traded because of some lackluster defense he displays sometimes is a joke. Okay? Let's leave it at that. I don't want to hear anything more about it. It's silly. Real people who know basketball, real Knicks fans who actually follow the team and have love for the team. Like Timothy Chalamet, I don't know if it's like genuine. I know he was like all over the playoffs, but like I'm gonna move past him and go to someone I know is like a real Knicks fan, Spike Lee. There's no way Spike Lee woke up the day after they lost like, we gotta get rid of Karl. He's probably like, man, you know what? That was a fucking hell of a year. We got some exciting times ahead. Karl-Anthony Towns is on our team. He was fantastic. We went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. We went to Game 6. We were 1 game away from Game 7. We just need a little bit more depth. That's the issue here. All right? The issue is depth. The issue is Thibodeau playing 5 guys, 40 fucking 35. The issue is they only have McBride off the bench. That's the fucking issue. Not our second best player who led us all this way, sometimes been our first. We need to trade him because sometimes he has a lackluster defense. Sometimes. Stop.